Once we've still got the motor up on the bench here, we can move on to the next job, which is greasing the splines for the propeller and just making sure there's nothing trapped behind there. And we can also change the oil in the gearbox unit. So that's what we're going to do now. We'll begin then by removing the split pin that holds the castellated nut in place on here. That actually came loose quite easily. And there's the propeller. This one's got a little bit of corrosion behind it, a bit of dirt. Just check inside here to make sure there's no fishing line or anything like that stuck in there. So I'll just clean this up, then we'll grease the splines and put it back on again. I'm using some water resistant grease to just lubricate the spline. The only reason for doing this, of course, is so that the propeller doesn't corrode in place on there. There we go. Then we can refit the prop. Replace the washer. And the castellated nut. Okay. And fit a new split pin. And there we go, that's the prop refitted and back in place. Next we're going to change the gearbox oil. So we have to remove two screws. There's a drain screw here and there's a level screw at the top here. Take out the level screw first, just to let the air in. This one. And then the drain screw. And just inspecting that oil as it comes. There's no water in there, it's not milky. It's a little bit mucky, but nothing to worry about. So I'd say that that's no. We'll just let that drip for a moment until it's all out. And then we'll replace the plug and refill with clean oil. So to refill the gearbox then, what we're going to need is EP80 or 90 gearbox oil. It doesn't use too much, I think it's about 150 millilitres, something like that. It's also a good idea to fit new fibre washers to the plugs that go in here and here. The other ones are probably worn out. And when we come to force the oil into the gearbox, it's actually done by pumping oil into the lower opening until the gearbox fills right up and we see oil starting to come out of the top. For that, I'm going to use this little hand pump, which I have in the garage. You may not have one of those. What you can get instead is something like a plastic bottle that you can squeeze with a nozzle on and a bit of pipe to put in there. Or you can even buy kits from most car shops with oil in what's almost like a big plastic toothpaste tube, and you stick a pipe on that and into here, and you can achieve the same thing as I'm going to do with this pump. So here we go then, let's see what happens. Okay, and what we can see now is we have oil just starting to drip out of there. So we can cease the pumping and replace the plugs. There we go. And our gearbox is filled with clean oil. Just nip out the screws. One last job that we might as well do while we're down here is just to check the anode and replace it if necessary. And actually that one's in pretty good condition, doesn't need changing. What we will do is put a little bit of grease on the bolt before we put him back in. so it's not going to seize in there next time we want to remove it. Okay, and that's us pretty much finished at the bottom end of the motor.